tired. But no, definitely just want to hop on here. I said I was doing a live and all of that again today, but I was going to do a vertical. Well, I'm doing vertical right now. I was going to do a horizontal live, but I think I'll do that one tomorrow. So stay tuned for that if you want to do that one. And hopefully a chat does pop up here. But we're talking Heretic, spoilers, things like that. If you want the movie and all of that, and you want to know more about the film, check out our review. No spoilers there. But we do have an ending explained where it's, of course, full of spoilers. And I'm just curious to know what people really thought about the film because I know it is a film that is going to get a lot of people talking for various reasons. And so that's a very interesting topic, I think, right now is if people enjoyed the film, if they didn't, and all of that. But a lot of things just broke recently, like Tony Todd tragically passed away. And of course, Tony Todd is the actor who played famously Candyman, as well as many other iconic roles in film, and also was in the Final Destination films as well. So a very big loss to film and horror, just incredibly saddened about it. Candyman was like one of those first movies I ever watched, like a horror film as a kid growing up. I think that that is definitely one of those characters that you just knew about, and everybody would always talk about Candyman, like don't say the name 3 or 5 times. And all that, like it was just a big thing. Like when you would say like the Bloody Mary thing and all of that, it was like a thing. Like Candyman was something you don't say in the mirror, right? And so it's definitely a big loss for the horror community, seeing that Tony Todd has passed away and all of that, and it's just a very, very big that bigger than life, like his performances and all of that as well, and definitely will be missed. So yeah, that was definitely one of the things I had seen earlier this night, and yeah, very big loss for the horror community as well. But yeah, I do want to make a video talking about the Candyman film as well, and I've been meaning to. I think I talked about Candyman 2018 already in the on the channel, like when it first came out. I do want to go back, and I've never really revisited Candyman 1992 to talk about on the channel, so I definitely will be doing that over the weekend, just because I think it's one of those films that was so ahead of its time. And I rewatched it, I believe, in 2021 or 2020, and I think it was just one of those great films as well. And I'm super excited to see Tony's legacy be remembered and stuff in the days to come, and what people have to say about it. We've already seen some people talking about it online. I think it is just great to see that sort of community like talking about all of these things. Very big loss for the community for sure in horror and just in film in general. Just a great actor. But I did want to talk about other stuff in horror as well. Like already did a video on Nosferatu, the early reactions, and I did a live earlier today, just going off the basis of those. And in my video I did today, I get a little bit more into some of the reactions that I saw and how I felt about them. And I'm definitely excited to see what everybody thinks about the film once it does release next month. It's a film that everybody's saying is going to be like one of the best films of the year, not just the best horror film. By the way, I look very tired. I should definitely get some sleep and stuff like that. But I just want to hop on here, want to do more lives and things like that. But I am very excited also for the film Heretic. I'm curious to see like what the conversation will be. When I watched it at TIFF, there's a big conversation about it then, about the subject matter and things like that, and just everything that the film is sort of trying to talk about. And I'm curious. I do think that it is a film that has its flaws here and there with so much of a heavy text script where it can kind of feel like it's slowing down a bit at times. But I think Sophie Thatcher, I think Chloe East, I think Hugh Grant do a great job as actors at really pushing the movie forward and just giving great line delivery after great line delivery. And that's what really has the movie flowing. I do think its subject matter can get a little bit too like repetitive at times, and it can feel a bit heavy, and you're just there like, we've been through this already, like what's happening, like what is the big deal here, right? And you know, that's my problem with Heretic. I didn't like it as much at TIFF. I did enjoy it a second time when I watched it a couple weeks after TIFF, and I was able to really just sit down with the movie. I was okay. Or maybe it was the flu. I almost said, I was mixing up two words right there. I was going to say, or maybe it was the free blueberry pie that A24 gave us that night when we watched the movie. I don't know what it was, but the blueberry pie was really good, by the way. Very good blueberry pie. So I don't know. I feel like so many conflicting ways about the film because I do enjoy the acting. I do think that the themes are interesting. I really love like listening or talking about theology as well. So that's why I really enjoyed Heretic a lot. And I did like some of the twists and turns that came in the film as well. One in particular that came halfway through. I think that's when the film really found its footing in that second half, whereas the first half was interesting when it started, and I think that it was cool to really meet these characters and get to know them, and then it sort of just started to drag on a bit too much for my liking. So that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, I should have gotten some sleep after all of the stuff I've been doing today, but still excited about all the other releases coming as well. We do have the Penguin finale as well this weekend, which I'm excited to talk about that show because I think it's one of the best shows I've watched this whole year. And then we also have Doom Prophecy coming out the week after, so it's gonna be a busy last 2 months. I will be watching also Gladiator, Wicked, and The Brutalist all in the span of a week. So I'm very excited to get to talk about those films and just prepare for a lot of other things as well. Working on a film myself. So that's pretty exciting as well to talk to y'all more about pretty soon once I start getting the storyboard and all of that done. So, like I said, we're just here to talk about horror and things like that. Like I spoke earlier about it, Tony Todd has sadly passed away, and it is a big loss for the horror community. Such a great icon, and yeah, it definitely was shocking when I saw the news when I opened up Twitter, and I was just like, what? Because that's just like a larger than life character, right? He is so iconic in his role as Candyman. It's just a actor that you would never have expected to hear about this, and yet here we are talking about his tragic passing. So rest in peace to Tony Todd. And I will be going back and watching Candyman 1992. I watched it back in 2022 and I loved it. And I had watched it prior to that, like I would say 3 or 4 times. Loved it every time. But I do want to rewatch it because I think it's one of those horror films that was so ahead of its time. Like what it was doing and all of that is what you see a lot of horror movies doing today, with having a very chilling and profound message behind it. And I think that's always important, not just in horror, but in film and art in general. So I will be talking about Candyman 1992, maybe in a video on Sunday. So stay tuned for that, just because of what just happened with Tony Todd. But I want to talk about Heretic if y'all want to. We can talk about Nosferatu as well and the reactions that have just come in. I won't be watching the movie until next month, so I'm definitely just looking at all of the reactions, what everybody thinks. I'm trying new stuff here on the channel as well, so that's why I'm doing these like vertical lives a lot more now. So let's see if we can do a little poll right here if y'all want to vote. If you're watching, make sure that you are subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're commenting what you want to see on the channel and all of that. But let's start a poll. Who's excited for Nosferatu? And let's see what y'all think about this. We're also running a horror poll right now, and there's like 2 hours left to vote on it. What's the best horror movie of 2024, right? And a lot of people didn't know we already had one round. This is the second round we're on right now, and the two highest like voted films will go on to the next one, and they will compete with one another over the weekend. So here's the poll. I'm trying to type here as well. It's an interesting thing to be doing, right? So who is excited for Nosferatu? Let's see. And just vote on it. Let's see how this works, right? This is like my first week I've ever done like vertical lives. I want to do more of them. I think they're interesting as well. But yeah, I'm excited. I wonder if we can ever do a live where I can bring people on and stuff like that. I would definitely have to work on that, how that would work as well. But yeah, if y'all want to talk Heretic spoilers, we can. Or if not, I'll do a other live, because earlier today when I was doing the live, people were saying that they couldn't comment or the chat wasn't working, things like that. So I do want that to work because I really love doing the lives where we discuss the movies and spoilers and things like that. So if this doesn't work that well, I will do a live tomorrow just about the same topic, talking about horror, talking about Heretic, Nosferatu, and things like that. So I'm just going to stay on here for like 5 more minutes. I'm trying to see if it's able to engage with y'all, and if it's not, then we're just gonna be like good night. And I do have some movies I'm gonna be watching tomorrow morning, so I'm excited about that as well, which I will talk about pretty soon, because I will be reviewing some of the movies I'm currently watching for this festival, so stay tuned for that. But I am very excited about the last 2 months in film this year, which are full of amazing, amazing titles. I didn't even remember Moana 2 was coming out. I'm curious what they're doing. I really enjoyed the first Moana. I remember seeing that one, but I don't really remember it that well. There's just some visuals in it I do remember, or they come back to me as I'm thinking about it, but I will talk more about that pretty soon. But I think the live is just not going because I'm trying to see if the chat or anything can work, or the polls, and it seems like it's not really going that well. So we're just going to end it here. Thank you for coming on. We will be doing a regular live tomorrow where you can chat and all that, so stay tuned. But anyways, just let me know your thoughts and opinions. Today was just like a ramble, wasn't it? Like I just rambled about things for like 10 minutes, but tomorrow, stay tuned, stay tuned. But anyways, as always, stay